I mean, I think it would be awesome if there was a space elevator. I wouldn't hold my breath. Ideally, you want to try to bracket it and say success is in the envelope of outcome. And I wasn't quite sure if that was the case. I think success on an academic level would have been quite likely because you can publish some useless paper, and most papers are pretty useless. How many PhD papers are actually used by someone ever?
The formula of success, Elon Musk's greatest life advice. Success is found in the range of options. It's not always easy to tell if that's the case. According to Elon Musk, success in academia would have been very possible because anyone can submit a pointless article, and the vast majority of publications are just that, pointless. It makes us wonder, how many PhD research papers have you ever used? It's not good in terms of percentages. If you're going to add leaves to the knowledge tree, this may have been one of those outcomes, and it's impossible to get that leaf. There is no end to self-education. Even when school is over, you have no idea what you've been missing out on. All of these things exist, as you've come to learn. As a child, Elon Musk consumed the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. That's exactly what we were going to say. Musk was reading an encyclopedia while the rest of you read poetry and school textbooks on the moon. Consuming posts and information on social media are not the same. Become engaged in reading that will broaden your perspective and give you fresh perspectives. It is a wonder that those that are best at learning tend to be the wealthiest in society. When Elon started his company, it was not at that point to compete with the other giants of the industry, but what he brought were innovation and hard work. Elon Musk is renowned for his dedication to his work. He spends up to 100 hours a week working for his several businesses. Remember Elon the next time you're feeling drained and don't feel like doing the same. When you're lacking inspiration, you think about Elon. He's preparing the ground for what it means to be pushed to the limit. You may be letting your potential slip away if you aren't following suit.
I was always sort of really interested in reading when I was a kid that I could get my hands on. If I can go back a little bit to that further and say the origins, why electric vehicles? Most can affect the future of humanity, and the three things I came up with were the internet, transitioning to a sustainable energy economy, and that means both production and consumption of energy in a sustainable way.
You know, when a 14-story building falls over, it's quite a... So what we need to do is to be able to either land on a floating platform or ideally boost back to the launch site and land back at the launch site. But before we boost back to the launch site and try to land there, we need to show that we can land with precision over and over again.
I'm actually not an investor. Sometimes people think I'm an investor or I invest in things. I don't invest in anything. In fact, the only public security that I own of any kind is Tesla. And then the next biggest is SpaceX. The Boring Company kind of started it more as a joke because that would be a funny name for a company. We put the zero in Bring. I mean, it's sort of like, that doesn't make any sense.
So it could have been one of those outcomes where you add some leaves to the tree of knowledge, and that leaf is, nope, it's not possible. So that was one path, and I was prepared to do that, but then the internet came along. I'm pretty sure success is one of the possible outcomes, and it seemed like I could either do a PhD and watch the internet happen, or I could participate and help build it in some fashion.
Third was space exploration. So my interest in electric cars goes back 20 years when I was in college. In fact, the original reason I came out to Silicon Valley was to go to Stanford to work on a PhD in applied physics and material science to develop advanced energy storage technologies for electric vehicles.
For the upcoming launch, I think we've got a chance of landing on a floating landing platform. We actually have a huge platform that's being constructed at a shipyard in Louisiana right now, which is, well, it's huge, huge-ish. I mean, it's about 300 feet long by 170 feet wide. That looks very tiny from space. Like, I just couldn't stand the idea of watching it happen. So I decided to put things on hold and start an internet company. And that was kind of worked on internet publishing software, maps and directions, Yellow Pages kind of things. We had as investors and customers the media companies, so like New York Times Company, Knight Ridder.
We don't have the economies of scale of the big car companies. Plus, we're really working with the first generation of technology. There are two things that are really important in making technology available to the mass market and making it affordable. And those two things are economies of scale and being able to optimize the design. Usually by the third version of something, that's when it kind of starts to reach mass market potential. So using that sort of basic rule of thumb, the strategy I had was to start off with a high-priced, low-volume car.
If things had just gone a little bit the other way, both companies would be dead. And like one of the most difficult choices I have ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, $30 or $40 million left in 2008. And I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies.